I think it's important to what has been said, of course, about the changes in politics, but mainly this roots back to a change in views, in the view of what Norway is and what the world's like, and the kind of strange thing is that with globalization, the notion of the need to control our own borders has grown stronger and has been more of a political demand. So that both the need of control is eminent and it's self-explanatory. You don't need to give much reason for that as a politician. It's self-evident to most people that if you say that we have to do so and so to have more control, it's accepted, it's understood, it's not challenged much. And also the notion of asylum seekers as such has changed a lot. There were a flare of something proud about being an asylum seeker, somebody that had taken the decision, invested personally in fleeing, in taking chances, in taking risks, in enduring danger, somebody that represented a political opposition, like both in the Soviet system, in Latin America, towards military aggressors, dictatorships, or fleeing terrible situation like the boat refugees of Vietnam. They were seen as somebody deserving protection as their being. But now the notion of asylum seeker is somebody trying to get past our border control, and we cannot be sure on what terms. I think that's to a large extent the association of the term asylum seeker, and that's what we have to work with. And for NOAS, the backbone of what we do is to work with the cases, the individual asylum seekers' cases, on the background of what is politics and what is practice in the administration, in UDI and in the appeals board. And since all cases are individual, it's often difficult for us to group of argumentation, but we do see trends, we see representation of problems that concerns larger groups of people. So what we try to do is to, through the work we do with information, legal assistance, guidance to asylum seekers, we do, through the work with their cases, find gaps in legislation. We see truths that are in need of being challenged. We see language used, terms used. There is cut and paste in the way cases are handled, which are not the individual treatment that is said, and this has to be challenged. Numbers has to be challenged. How many are we talking about? If there is a leeway and a positive consideration given in this case, how many cases are we talking about that could be somewhat similar? Numbers are often engrossed, is our experience. And we try to show the larger picture, which the Norwegian people say are better at than we are in many cases, because they're present on the ground many places. But we try to draw up the picture of how many millions in the world every year are fleeing, and how many actually come to Europe, and how many of them actually come to Norway, and what numbers are we really talking about. But I think today one of our main strategy is to try to challenge the truths in the debate about the asylum policy, and that one of the main truths is that when you have got your final rejection, you have been through the best handling of your case, the best analysis, the best land information, the best criteria are studied to consider whether or not you are in need of protection. And this is not always true. To start with the interview, which is the basis of the whole case. People can be in a terrible state when the interview is conducted. They can be vulnerable. There can be a gender issue between a female asylum seeker and a male person questioning her. There can be a male interpreter. There can be an issue. What clan, what tribe does the interpreter belong to? What clan, what tribe does the asylum seeker belong to? Are there differences there that distorts the interview? There's a lot of things that we see through experience that interviews do not form that optimal base of an asylum case, which they are presented as. And then you have the land information, from where is it obtained, from who, how many years ago, how old is it, what has changed in the meantime, how is it interpreted, are there within this understanding of the larger picture of that country or the region, are there other issues to be dealt with? Are we talking about statelessness? Are we talking about conversion? Are we talking about sexual orientation? Are we talking about family feuds? Are we talking about somebody belonging to a clan in opposition to the clan in power? What kind of structures are we talking about when land information is to be interpreted? So all these questions and what we can derive from the different cases we deal with, that's the kind of information we put forward when we ask for meetings with politicians, with the administration in UDI or UNE, and we show them by concrete examples that this and this and this is how we see it, and these are the weak points in the system. And this is the kind of information which is very difficult to come through with in public, because for a politician to be confronted, they can always retract and say that we don't deal with individual cases, and it can always be said that, well, this is an individual case, but in general it's like this and this, and the system is good. So the work that NOAS does, it's not, for the main part of it, it's not flamboyant, it's not loud, it's not very action-oriented often, but it's more this constant drop like water on a stone about the things that we see within the cases that we work with, that this has to be dealt with. This is not, it's not through how the system is presented because of this and this and this. So this is how we can work from different angles on the asylum politics and the system. Some works from a health angle. They see the humanitarian situation for the people affected by the system. Some work with the reception centers. Some work with more action-oriented happenings and things. We work from what we know best. It's the cases. through hearings, through meetings, we do experience that some things are changed, but as have been said before me, we are up against much tougher resistance, because it's about the credibility which lies in being able to tell people that we are in control, and whatever we do, it is to secure more control, not less, when it concerns borders and integration.